Warning, this is an adult-oriented podcast about really perverse things like communication and consent. If you're underage and looking for answers to questions about sex and kink, please visit scarletteen.com. For the dude bros out there listening, this is nerdy shit. Fuck off.
Somebody help that poor submissive!
Look, up there in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane?
Is that a flogger? Someone's gotta be having a good time.
As the kink signal shines brightly in the night sky, we know that there is fuckery afoot.
What kind of fucking town is this?
No worries, as they've listened to the Gotham Press beforehand, so all will be safe, sane, and consensual.
Well, that's reassuring.
Right?
Yeah, but what's the Gotham Press?
What is the Gotham Press, you ask?
It's about time you tell us, don't you think?
Well, I'll let the Cape Crusaders themselves educate you on that.
It'd be just my luck that I would get pulled over by the one fluent German-speaking officer.
You are now listening to the world-famous Gotham Press podcast.
What don't you want to watch?
I want to watch boobs back there.
I
Boobs
want
back there?
boobs behind me.
I think she wants First John's boobs.
John?
No. That's not what I was saying.
I want somebody with beautiful, wondrous boobs to put them on my shoulders right now.
I don't think your mistress would like that.
I don't think so either. I wish she was here to do it.
Right here. Wait, what did they say? I missed it.
One of our audience members said, "How big do they have to be to put both of them on your shoulders?" And another audience member replied, pointing at her chest, "Right here." Thank you.
And with that,
Let's do that thing!
do
We
that
go around the table and pretend we're somebody else.
You are pretending to be a different podcast, sir.
Oh, damn. I've been called out.
Yes, I did.
hello, Gothamites! We are back.
Welcome back, Gothamites. We are the Gotham Press.
Hi, Greedy here.
Hi, Mistress Micromanager.
There
Lala.
you go.
Oh, finally getting your title right. Only took 2 tries this time.
You're dumb. I don't like you.
I drink.
I lied. Oh, yeah, drink. I said dumb.
First of the day.
First of the day.
First of the day, Panther.
First of the day, awesome.
First of the day. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm Captain Awesome.
Oh, hey, I just spilled the beans. We have a guest, very special guest in our studio today. The outdoor studio.
The outdoor studio. Live.
Yeah. The back cave is outdoors now.
Now we may actually run into bats.
Don't tell my mistress. She won't like that.
I'm part bat.
Your part bat?
But let's introduce our guest.
Our guest is Panther. Please, hi, welcome to the show. Give a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. I'm Panther, a.k.a. PantherProwLs on FetLife and various and sundry other places.
Wonderful. We're so happy that you came all the way here, not just to be here on our podcast, but what did you do today?
Well, I got invited to come down here by these wonderful folks to provide a little single-tailed whip for the tasting.
The tasting. The Bakersfield tasting.
Oh, did that happen today?
That happened today.
That happened today. For those listeners that are Johnny on the spot, they would have heard.
The spot.
Oh yeah. They would have heard that there was a secret word for that day only, and they would have called into Candy's Sweet Box and got an extra entry.
That day being earlier today.
Sucks for y'all.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that anybody that's hearing this now will have no chance to get that.
Well, that was our bonus word for
Yeah,
our little
basically,
snippet that we did earlier, so yeah. But we're going to have a word today, later tonight, so
We'll get around to it.
yeah.
If we remember.
We do have a live audience, so if you hear some
Write it down, Greedy.
chatting and some comments in the background, it's all live.
Because we're having fun.
Because this is the after party from the tasting, which
Yes.
Panther mentioned.
So many people tonight.
So many wonderful people.
I gotta say, some of our listeners might be wondering, what the fuck is a tasting?
Do you really think they'd be thinking what the F is a tasting?
Maybe.
What the heck?
What the heck?
What the hell?
Let's have
What the halibut?
What the halibut?
Let's have
halibut?
Panther.
Panther.
Panther?
Panther.
Wow.
I love that.
I had a roommate that used to do that all the time and pissed me off so much.
Well, don't be pissed because it's
I'm not being
adorable.
pissed at him.
He's not your roommate.
He's not my roommate.
Panther, tell our listeners what a tasting is, if you don't mind.
Well, what a tasting is an event where there's usually a variety of tops demonstrating and teaching a variety of different S&M skills. In my case, it was single-tailed whips. We had flogging, we had spanking, wax play, various types of rope, caning, let's see, knife play. They also had some cupping.
Oh, yeah.
Cupping. I partook in the cupping.
I wish I could have.
How was it?
It was great. I messed up my shoulder this morning, and Obi-Wan Kenobi did some cupping on me, and I feel 80% better, 90%.
90%.
Yeah.
Really?
The scotch helps.
Amazing how that happened.
The scotch accounts for like 12%.
There were also 3 rope stations. There was electrical play, which I avoided like the plague. There were needles that I avoided like the plague. And a TENS unit, which I avoided like the plague. But there were paddles.
I get the feeling that you're afraid of electricity.
I don't even like electric blankets.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Usually
Don't tell my mistress that, because you will never get into bed with her again.
Oh, I will get in bed with your mistress. Do not worry about that.
I know, I've got the cameras waiting.
She wants me so bad. She wants me so bad.
I believe it.
I can say that because she never listens to the podcast.
But now that you have witnesses.
Way to stroke my ego. I appreciate that. Oh, wow. Anyway, cameras are rolling, so when you do get in bed with her, I'll be watching.
Oh, that's lovely.
You'll be whacking?
I'll be whacking.
So
Watching.
I want to bring this back to Panther.
Yes.
As I was walking around, I noticed at your station you had a table with beautiful floggers, and there was something that looked like a fire hose.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and just amazing things. Did you make all of those?
Yes, I did.
Those were beautiful, and wow.
Thank you.
Like, seriously. High quality.
Do you just make these for your own personal use?
No, we actually do sell them. We just selection was a little poor today. We just got done with Folsom Street Fair, and so
I imagine you sold a good portion of your inventory there.
Yes, we did. I'm going to be very busy in the shop for a while.
Awesome.
May I ask, how much would your wares go for?
They go from anywhere from about $55, $60 all the way up to my most expensive product, which I didn't have with me, is $750.
Whoa.
What is that?
Oh my God.
Diabolic Cat is a 6-tailed cat. It comes with its own special case because in the end of each tail is a bright red 1-0 eagle claw fishhook.
Whoa.
Holy heck! So, wow. So that like will cut you.
Hold on.
Right?
We had a live audience reaction there. Audience, how did you react to that again?
Wait, was that a good reaction? I can't turn. Was it a good reaction?
That was a what the fuck?
That was a loud terror.
That was terror. What does that do to a person?
Puts holes in them.
When you say hook, does it have that little barb so that it gets in the skin and rips the skin?
No.
So it's not a barbed hook.
It's not a barbed hook.
Okay.
Okay, but it still is a hook, like a U, like a hook.
Yes, like a fish hook.
You can't see me, listeners, but I am making a U shape with my finger. Like it looks like I'm gonna put my finger in a woman.
I
Anyway.
am now
way.
picturing that.
Wow, and people like that.
Some people.
$700.
I imagine somebody does like it because he didn't have it present.
How many have you made and sold? I'm so nosy.
I've made and sold 2.
Okay. Wow.
Well, that's one more than I had estimated for the market. But
I can't.
bravo.
My brain's not wrapping around it.
Out of curiosity, Panther, do you have a website where you advertise this stuff?
Yes, it is www.PantherProwls, all one word, .com.
Perfect.
PantherProwls.com. We will put that in the show notes so our listeners can click onto it and, see what you've got available. Because, honestly, I got to hold some of your stuff today, and it is not cheap stuff. I mean, it's great quality.
It's great quality. You had one that was my favorite colors, which was hot pink, purple, and the handle was black. It was deer.
Yes.
which was really soft. I like a little harder thuddy. But if it was a harder thuddy, I probably would have been like, mine. So I'll be looking. No, it was beautiful. They're beautiful. Amazing. I was really impressed.
Thank
So,
you.
what is the one that looks like fire hose? Is it really fire hose?
It really is fire hose. It's 1-inch double jacket fire hose. That particular hose that came off the Valley Fire in Lake County from about 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
It's got a fair amount of thwack to it.
Like a deep, thuddy, bruisey type whack?
It can be,
Yeah.
but it is flexible, and so it's got some. You can use it in a variety of ways, and it's got some interesting pop to it.
How did you get a hold of that hose?
Well, part of it got burned through, so we couldn't use any more. So I rolled it up and brought it home.
Wait a second, you said we?
Are you in the fire department?
Yes.
Oh, do you mind people knowing that? I'm sorry, I totally outed you.
No.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so you're a firefighter.
Yes.
Awesome. We have a fire chief in our group.
Outstanding.
Yes.
I am curious. Are you medic trained as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you actually legitimately know your shit from professional experience.
Correct.
Okay, so that should establish that this guy is the right person to ask if you have something you're curious about in the lifestyle. He knows from medical perspective, he knows from personal pain perspective, and he knows exactly how to psychologically play with people as well. I got to watch you. Okay, so for our listeners, I was spanking today. I was part of the spanking booth. And I got to spend about 20 minutes watching Panther playing with a couple of different people. It was different than any other play I've ever seen. I mean, you engaged with him in a way that I've only seen with people that have been involved for years on end. And these are people that you'd only just met today. I got to tip my hat to you, sir. That was impressive.
Thank you. Well, I have been in for years. I originally came out in the scene here in the Bay Area in 1997. Joined the Society of Janus, and I've been doing various and sundry kink things out in the open ever since.
Awesome.
Where did you learn to create your toys? Were you self-taught?
No, actually, I'm not. I started in '97. I met a guy by the name of itYou. He did a lovely scene at what used to be the Exotic Erotic Ball up in San Francisco.
I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And after he got done with his scene, he had stepped away, and I complimented him on his scene. We started talking, and we discovered later that we lived about a half a mile apart.
Oh, wow.
And so I would go over to his house. He was already building toys, and one day he said, "Would you mind helping me do this?" And I can't remember exactly what it was. And I started helping out. He was building floggers and various and sundry toys, and gradually, as I learned a bit more, I was helping him doing more and more things, and eventually I wound up learning the entire process of how to build floggers. And I started building some. I bring in some of my own leather and build some of my own, and eventually I started building on my own.
That is amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we like to ask dominants. You're dominant, correct?
Yes.
Or a switch, maybe?
No, I really don't switch.
Okay.
Doesn't. I've bought it before, and it just really doesn't do that much for me.
That's what I was going to ask. Because a single tail is really quite harsh. I mean, to some people. To me, it would be hard for me to take that. I just wonder, have you experienced it? And have you experienced your own toys being single-tailed?
Yes.
I'm laughing at myself. I throw a single tail as well, and I don't know a single person that's thrown any single tail with any sort of longevity to it that hasn't clipped themselves at least once or twice in the head or the back.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, have you stood on a cross and been
have somebody use it on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 And did you enjoy it?
No.
No.
It is not for him to enjoy.
That's fair. I'm just curious.
Yeah, at least he's honest about it.
But you've experienced it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Before I started, the way I was taught, before I started using a single tail on people, Dimitri, who was one of my mentors, insisted that I experience it. And so one day I felt I was ready, and so he single-tailed me.
Were you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could handle it.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, and like I said, I didn't enjoy it. On the few occasions I've bottomed, it's been basically I endure it,
Yeah.
but I don't enjoy it.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just curious because I think it's important for tops to try toys out so they know what their bottom is experiencing.
What pain we are inflicting upon them.
And because a single tail is so intense, as you said, I was just curious.
It can be. There's two schools of thought. One is that the top should be able to go through the same experience as the bottom, and there's a certain value to that. The counter argument is that, well, since everybody processes sensation differently, they can't really truly experience it in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to your argument of what's a light flogging.
Right. Right.
What one person thinks is extremely light, another person is screaming safe words at. So
True.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of truth to both sides. I think by experiencing it, you have a better idea of what you are potentially capable of inflicting. Does it mean the other person will perceive it that way? Not necessarily.
Right.
That's
Okay.
where communication comes in. Then they have to let you know, hey, this feels good, bad, everything in between.
Correct.
Panther, that is a great insight. Thank you very much for sharing that, because I've heard each argument you just gave. You should try it first, or well, you aren't going to perceive it the same as somebody else. But honestly, I hadn't even thought of putting those together, because it makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think you just got greedy excited.
Yeah, no doubt.
Has anyone in our live audience, did anybody step up to Panther's booth? Anyone? No? No.
Everybody seems to be
They're all
afraid.
chickens back here. That's okay, I joined the flock. I'm a chicken.
You've never been single-tailed then?
No, I have.
You have?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And what did you think?
By
of it?
Shock Doc many years ago. Oh, yes. He said I enjoyed it. Back then, I was more into pain than I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Awesome, have you?
No.
How about you?
I have.
You've thrown one. Have you?
I have thrown and I have received.
Okay.
I've received 3 times. 2 by
2x4?
Lestrega.
I was gonna say Lestrega. Yeah, she's hot.
And then, once by my mistress, who
I said that out loud. She's
Oh,
hot.
she is.
She's
Yes.
hot.
Once by my mistress, who only did a little bit and wasn't very hard. But yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, it is intense. Yes, if you do it right, it is incredibly erotic and. Yeah.
Okay,
Greedy keep it in your
we're
pants.
gonna move on from that because the faces
No.
you're making are. Yeah.
I wish the listeners
He's
could see
losing
the
his
face.
focus.
Right. So, Panther, you also mentioned that knives are really more of your specialty. Is that you like doing knife play more, or?
I wouldn't say I like doing it more. That's what I started with when I first got in the scene. But I don't know if I like the more. Every scene's different. Every bottom's different. And I'm less a sadist than a control freak.
You're more a control freak?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when I'm actually playing as opposed to doing a tasting, what I enjoy is eliciting a particular response.
Okay.
And the tools I most commonly use are knives, floggers, single tails, canes. and a couple other little goodies that I have in my bag. And I work on getting them to respond in a certain way. And how they respond depends on what I continue to use, or if I switch to a different implement.
Okay. You said knives earlier, so I just was wondering what your perspective was.
Well, like I like to say in my Caressa Steel 101, Knife Play 101 class, I first started using knives when I was 4 years old.
Wait.
Oh, wow.
On Barbie dolls?
I hope you're not talking in an erotic context.
Well, no. I was doing it on non-consenting hot dog and marshmallow sticks, but none of them ever safe worded, so I'm all good.
4 years old?
Yeah.
Just like whittling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was given my first knife when I was 5, and I've been using and carrying them ever since.
Okay.
Now, see, that may be one of society's problems. We're not giving 5-year-olds knives anymore.
I think it is a problem. I do.
Don't look at me.
Captain's shaking his head.
Did you not get a knife when you were young?
I did not.
Did you get a BB gun?
Nope.
Did you get any?
I am not a jet, nor did I want a Red Rider.
OMG.
These are both movie references.
Okay. My, wow.
What's that? What's that, Hidden John?
Snapping like West Side Story.
Oh, yeah. We got West Side Story
You're
going
not
on.
going to rumble unless you've had 4 years of tap and 3 years interpretive dance.
And you need some makeup. A tan, something. Some hair dye.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, tasting was great today. Did anybody have a favorite thing?
Me, I just kind of went just for the ambiance, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't taste anything this year, but I've done so the 3 previous years I've been.
Yeah.
This year I was just kind of like, I'm just going to sit and people watch, which was great.
Yeah.
Like seeing the reactions that certain people were having, watching some of the rope being used. Bite Sunfish was doing suspension.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
There were 2 new people that came up to me, and they were just giddy and excited, and they were here, but I don't see them now. But they were just like kids, like in a candy dish. They were in the candy dish, swimming around, eating the candy, and they were buzzing from trying all the things, and it was so fun to see their reaction.
Oh yeah, I ran into one of those once the tasting was wrapping up. She came up, and I was like, "Are you driving yourself? You shouldn't drive right now."
Oh, is this the one that we talked to?
Yeah, we both talked to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is kind of how I felt about this couple, was that they both had tasted multiple things. I didn't feel like they should have driven, so luckily they helped with cleanup, I'm pretty sure, so they didn't drive right away.
Calm down.
But
Come down from the endorphin rush a little bit.
Right. Did you get to walk around and take a break and see some things, or?
Not much. I mean, I was able to observe what was going on in the room, but other than that, I really didn't get a chance to do much.
Were you disappointed about that? Do we need to give our presenters breaks next year?
Not necessarily. I was having so much fun. It did.
Oh, good. Because I always wonder, is 4 hours too much for you guys?
It wasn't for me.
I know that your mistress's hand got really sore because...
Yeah, after about 15 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I took over for her at that point.
Wow.
Hey.
And
That was soon.
So I asked the person we spoke with earlier, and she said she would love to talk about her experience at the tasting.
Okay, wonderful.
Come on over here.
Okay.
You want to introduce yourself? Give your pet name, please.
Yeah, sure. I am NeutralBee.
NeutralBee?
Yeah, B as in Buzz.
Hi, NeutralBee. It's a pleasure to chat with you on the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you're God? You had your cat
Oh,
ears
my
on?
God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just got a hit. I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. Anybody that listened to last year's tasting podcast, I'm just going to say jazz toes.
Oh, I forgot about those.
That was just whispered into my ear. And thank you, Sassy Princess.
All right. So back to you, NeutralBee.
Yes, hello.
So you want to inform the listeners your experience today?
Sure. So I'm super very new. And today was my first time doing a lot of things. I did a lot.
What did you try?
Let's see. Wax play, sensation play,
Yeah,
flogging impact, bare hand spanking.
Much better.
All right, I got there. I said wax play already.
Yes, you did.
The tens machine, violet wand, rope, paddles.
Were you
so
suspended or?
No, I was not suspended. I wanted to, but I ran out of time. I was running around doing everything, taking breaks to be like, whoa, what's going on? Because that was the general feeling I had was, whoa, what's going on to my brain and my body, right?
Yeah.
Which was a really great new experience for me. And it was really cool to have, I don't know, I felt really safe. I felt like there was a horde of people following me around, making sure I was okay and feeling good and having a good time, which just made the experience, really enjoyable because, like I knew the people who were doing these things knew exactly what they were doing and were well respected in the community, and that there was a community around making sure everything was okay. So that was really nice for me.
Awesome.
So how long did it take you to come down at the end?
Well, I was doing things from start to finish, so it was like 4 straight hours of brand new, pretty intense for me experiences, and afterwards I was real shaky, real wobbly, so I just kind of sat in my car for like a half an hour.
Wow.
And then when I got home, I like put on a big fluffy sweater and I made dino nuggets, and I just
kind of vegged out then.
Yeah, just kind of.
I have a question for you. When you got there, like one of the first booths that you came to was the one that I was at. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I want you, if you can, describe what you felt when you got up to leave. How did you feel?
Well, that's an interesting question. I felt kind of high. Yeah, like in a really, I don't know. It's hard to describe because I was in pain, right? Mm-hmm. But in a really, really good way. Yeah, like I was just overflowing with good feelings.
Endorphins?
Endorphins. I got the endorphin talk about 8 times. Because after every single station that I had a really good time at, I had that same feeling of like, whoa, my head is gonna fly off my shoulders. I feel so elated. Mm-hmm. And the person who was leading that station would be like, so what's happening to you right now is that you have a rush of endorphins. And I'm just going to have you sit here for like 2 minutes. By like the 8th time that it happened, I was just like, I've heard this before, but like, I'll just listen to you.
So as your favorite aunt.
I'm so sorry.
At one point, I happened to be behind the snack bar talking to my girlfriends, and she comes up and she just says, I need a snack. And so we were just like, what you want? And we hold up all these things, and yeah, I just...
It was easily the best Reese's Peanut Butter Cup I've had in my entire life, by like an order of magnitude better than any other Reese's Peanut Butter Cup I've ever had.
Real quick, Panther, can we get your professional input on this? Like, exactly what is the rush that so many submissives feel?
Well, there's a couple different theories on it, but primarily you get the sensation creates a release of various and sundry neurotransmitters, including dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and as they start to come down, you start to get oxytocin tossed in there. And this creates slightly varying with various and sundry people, slightly to quite altered mental status until those wear off. And then when they wear off, particularly if they wear off, if there's quite a bit of them released and they wear off quite abruptly, you get what's called a drop. And people can feel sad, they can feel depressed. It's actually not uncommon, and that can actually be produced to a certain extent simply by a power exchange interaction. And the longer the scene goes, the more intense it is, and the more a relationship exists between the top and the bottom, the more intense that tends to be. So, fortunately, you were smart, and you sat in your car, realized that driving might not be the best thing right now.
I was told by a few people that driving might not be the best thing right now. Yeah.
Very wise.
I've actually, so this is really my first time doing things that intense, and there was a bunch of them. And I personally am a little, nervous for the sub drop everybody's talking about, because it has definitely not hit yet. I still just feel great.
Yep.
Well, after the whole thing happened, a few people pulled you aside, and what did they tell you?
Well, they told me that basically that everything I was feeling was really normal, and that that I was being flooded with a lot of endorphins and adrenaline, and that's it makes you feel high, and it can be kind of addicting, and it's it's a good thing, it's a cathartic thing, but to be careful because apparently pretty soon that fades and you get what's called sub drop, which is what you were just talking about with the you feel depressed or moody or whatever.
Right.
And to look out for that and to not dismiss any of that, and just be aware of it in the coming days and talk to people if I notice things happening.
Did any of them offer anything to you to assist you through that?
A lot of people, yeah. I had so many people being so supportive and helpful and being like, if you need literally anything, talk to me, ask me. There's so many people who are someone actually offered to drive my car for me back home.
Wow.
Yeah. I forget who it was, and I'm so sorry because there's so many people and they all have two names, and
it was just a blur.
Yeah.
It's quite all right. I'm sure whoever it is, if they're listening, they'll know, hey, that was me, and they'll be grateful that you remember.
I really appreciated it. Yeah. There was, like I said, it was like a horde of a dozen people who were just so
just trying to be
supportive and helpful and welcoming, and it was just, it was a fantastic experience, top to bottom.
Top to bottom, that's a pun. That was good. Oh, jeez. Well, I think that pretty well covers the tasting. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on for it?
Touch on.
Pun.
As far from me, not so much anything more for the tasting. It was just a great experience, as always. No new pictures for me this year, though.
Panther, is there anything you would like to add about the tasting?
I had a great time. I got to throw single tails quite a bit, give away a bunch of crackers, and just basically have a great time.
Awesome.
Anything more from you, B?
I don't, not really. No,
Okay.
I feel great.
Right. Well, B, we want to thank you for hopping in real quick for the podcast to give us your opinion, your experience, I should say, on there.
Hi, Mistress Lala. Do you have anything final to add about the tasting?
Oh, final.
About the tasting.
Just
about
the tasting. Yeah.
Just come join a local community, and hopefully they're doing a tasting, and just get your balls on and get out there and
Get your balls on.
and try the things. And like I mentioned in a prior podcast, if you don't like it one time doesn't mean you're not going to like it the next time. So try it again.
Be willing to try.
Right. Like I was going to go to the electric booth to try it again, and I never made it there.
Too much in the way?
Well, I was running around like micromanager Lala all day, so
Yes.
it was hard to do anything. But yeah, I just didn't make it.
Oh yeah, for our Patreon listeners, they will be able to see the picture that we took of what you did to poor Lucy.
Lucy for llama, she liked it.
Did she?
She loved it.
I don't know. She wasn't screaming elations there. So
Maybe Lala heard it.
I heard it. She was whispering sweet nothings in my ear
The entire time, huh?
the whole entire time.
well, Gothamites, that is the official Gotham Press train going by right now.
That's right. Welcome to Outdoor Studios.
Can I throw one other thing in about tastings?
Of course.
Sir.
Okay. And this is something to remember when you go to a tasting, and it doesn't matter where or with whom, is that every top is different. We learn, depending on where we are, we learn different techniques from different people. We use different tools. And as was mentioned before, just because you didn't like something one time does not mean you won't ever like it again. By the same token, just because you liked something one time does not automatically mean you will love it every single time with every different play partner. So you have to be honest in your negotiations when you're talking with a different top. Because, as we said earlier, what's a light flogging? Their toys are different, their technique is different, their perceptions of how hard they're striking if it's an impact type play, or how tight a rope is if they're doing rope bondage and tying, may be different. So it's important to not only negotiate well, but to continue to communicate during your scene, your interaction, whether it's a tasting or a regular scene, so that you minimize the chances of having things go sideways, and so that everybody has a fun time.
That's interesting that you say that, because we actually had 3 rope people, and someone asked me, we were standing there watching, like, who would you recommend I go to? And I said, well, if you want something serious and calm, then Mr. Morris is your guy. If you want to brat out and be silly and be, yanked around like a rag doll, then you want Lord Rooster. If you want to try suspension, then you want
Bite Sunfish.
Bite Sunfish.
Bite Sunfish.
So everybody, exactly, just like you said, every top is different. They're all going to do it differently. Maybe you tried Mr. Morris's and it was boring, and next time you want to brat out and try Lord Rooster. I mean, it would be the same thing with a single tail or flogging. Like, if you were doing it, would be totally different maybe than Lestrega or Bear or anyone else who wields a single tail and a flogger.
Correct.
So I think that's really smart. If you don't like it one year because, maybe Greedy didn't spank the way you wanted it, then maybe next year Awesome is going to be spanking, and it may be the most awesome thing you've ever experienced, but you won't know because you haven't tried.
I do what I can.
So I think that was really important to say that.
Thank you.
Well, I would just like to say thank you for making the listeners believe that they're not going to like my spanking. I appreciate that.
I was just using,
Hey, Greedy.
You will never spank me, Greedy.
Hey, Woody. Do we have a word?
I
We do have a word.
we have a word.
What's the word? Don't you dare do it, Greedy. Don't you dare.
I thought everybody had heard.
Hey, Lala, what's the word?
Oh, well, a bird.
Oh, God.
The bird's the word. Oh, well, a bird.
Stop, Greedy.
I know that we talked about the word, but I suddenly am blanking on what the word was that we chose. It had to do with Panther.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was one of his favorite kinds of play.
Well, meow?
I don't think meow is a play. It's a type of play.
I think we just found the word.
You want the word to be meow?
What was the word?
We're gonna change it.
It's meow?
He's going to change it to meow.
It was knife play, but we're gonna go with meow. I think I like that even better.
Oh, meow? Meow. So that's M-R-E-O-W. Meow?
M-R-E-O-W.
M-R-E-O-W.
There it is.
That works.
Okay, so call Candy Sweetbox at
805-303-1173.
leave my bestie a message or send her a text and the word meow. Meow.
You know what, listeners? Just as an incentive to actually call Candy Sweetbox, if you call and give us your best meow, then you may get an extra entry in. Meow.
Yes, but you have to call and leave a voicemail.
I think we will call out whoever it was that got the best one on the next recording. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's great. No, I think that's wonderful.
I think that's a good idea.
I do. Does anyone behind us want to share an experience that they had today at the tasting? Anyone?
Audience, anything?
Going once.
If you want. Okay, we have a taker. We have a taker.
We have a taker?
Come on up. This is someone very special to me. I've known her all her life, almost. And it was her first tasting today. So I'm going to move out of the mic and I'm going to let her share her little experience.
Okay.
Awesome.
introduce yourself first, okay?
Your pet name.
Have a seat.
Your pet name, yeah.
Give her the headphones, Lala.
Oh, I get headphones. Yeah, so you can hear.
You get headphones. Okay, so just like we were talking to them, pretend that thing's a snack pack and you're trying to get your tongue deep inside it.
You're so disgusting.
We love you, Lala.
I thought that was your cunnilingus advice. Oh.
I think it's the same thing.
That's what it was.
Ignore these guys. Introduce yourself.
Please tell us about yourself.
All right. I'm Fet. I'm Kaiju 10.
Kaiju 10?
Kaiju 10, like Godzilla.
Okay, you really need to be a little closer.
Yeah, you gotta get closer, closer.
Okay.
Oh,
Make love.
There
to
you
this
go.
mic.
Yes.
There you go.
Be all up
Like,
in its business.
Make sure your nose is touching it. That's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's enough nose to go around, so all right.
Lies.
All right. I tried just a few of the booths today, but the one that stands out the most was actually with Rooster with the rope play.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first time being
Tied up?
Yeah, it was my first time being tied up. So he did a simple knot behind me, and with my low blood circulation, we found out my arms have to be down. So we adjusted that, and he did just my upper body, just so I could still move around a bit, and showed me the different things he could do to control me.
Oh.
And including taking me over to the not spanking, he took me over to the, I'm blinking out.
Paddles?
Yes, thank you.
To JW paddles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he took me over to get paddled while he had me tied up a little bit.
Thank you, JW.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I had a little bit of a twofer going on. And right after that, I actually did go over to the Violet Wand?
The Violet Wand.
Violet Wand, and I discovered that they actually have the ropes that have the metal through them, so I found out that you could be tied up and mix
a little bit
the
of electric
play with the being tied up. So that it's neat how you can find out you can mix and match, not mix and match, but do multiple things
combine.
at the same time. Yes, thank you. Apparently, I'm still just sort of
floaty still.
We call that floaty.
So I like how you can also mix and match the knife play with the wax.
Yeah.
So I did the wax on my legs. That was
Well,
nice.
just so you know, we all float down here.
So speaking of wax, really quick, I happened to be talking to one of the wax people, and I can't remember her pet name, sorry. And she was really excited because you and a friend were sitting there, and you kind of kept hovering around, and she was like, I gotta clean up, I only have 30 minutes. And then she knew you were both on the list, and she's like, screw it, I'm gonna do them both. And she was so excited to sit you both on her booth and do your legs at the same time. Mm-hmm. She really, really had a good time. She said you guys were adorable, and she loved it, and she was really happy that she was able to give you guys that experience.
I was hoping we weren't hovering too much, but I didn't want her to wait on us. So, we go around trying to do something else, and then we come back around like, you ready yet? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, wax is really popular, and there's usually quite a line and a sign up for that. So,
Usually the most wanted person that I see is usually Shock and his knives.
That's true. Did you do that?
Oh yeah, I saw Shock. I have mine.
You got knives with Shock? Did he cut you? Did he leave
No,
marks?
no. Just
She's
a little
showing
bit.
her arm. Ooh,
Just a little bit.
cat scratch
nice.
fever.
I wonder, Panther, is that something you find is typical of tastings wherever you go to them? Is the knife booth one of the most sought after booths?
I think it kind of depends on the area. I've seen a number of tastings where they didn't do knife play. I've done knife play for tastings. It just depends. Knives can be potentially very scary. They can trigger a lot of people, unfortunately. In some places it's very popular, others it's not. It's not as common a type of play that you see as much of in play spaces, and so it kind of rolls, because of that, it kind of rolls both ways. Either people are very afraid of it and they don't want to try it, or they're like, ooh, I've never seen that before, I want to try it. So you just never know.
Well, thank you very much for that insight. Again, I mean, this guy is just a wealth of knowledge. I am at awe and humbled by your presence. Thank you.
Most of the presenters are going to be that wealth of knowledge, hopefully.
I know, but he's like...
Speak up, Greedy.
He's Panther. I mean...
Quit whispering.
I'm sorry, I'm whispering. I have great admiration for this man, so I would like to say thank you very much for coming out to this tasting. It means a whole lot to us, to our community as a whole, to my leather home. We really do appreciate your being here today.
Well, thank you, and thank you for inviting me down. It's a pleasure coming down here.
So, wow, brownout. Captain, do you have anything else for the podcast?
Well, hold on. I want to say thank you to Kaiju for sitting in.
My bad.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for giving us your experience for today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Always happy. Hey, Greedy.
Yeah.
So, it's late. We're playing D&D in the morning, right?
I do believe that's the plan.
Greedy, have you heard what Wendy's did?
Are we talking about their Twitter?
We're talking about, no, not their Twitter. We're talking about the Wendy's restaurant. They came out with a D&D type game based around Wendy's.
What?
What?
Yes.
Okay, I love Wendy's and I love D&D. What is this nonsense you're speaking?
Are we going to face off against a smoothie monster?
Possibly.
Okay, tomorrow we need to go to Wendy's.
Smoothie golf.
It is called Feast of Legends.
Huh.
Feast of...
Do you play D&D? Do you know what we're talking about? Panther?
I constantly roll natural 19s and 20s.
You do not.
Oh, yes.
Wow. That's so funny.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, constantly in awe of this man.
Wow.
Greedy. I did not give the full title. Feast of Legends, Rise from the Deep Freeze.
Rise from the Deep
Well,
Freeze.
so is it about Frosties then?
Oh, it's going to be about a lot of stuff. Apparently most of the classes are all based on their offerings at the restaurant.
We need to go to Wendy's. The end.
I'm down for that. So apparently, on Thursday, this fast food chain restaurant released Feast of Legends Rise from the Deep Freeze. This free 97-page PDF slaps cheeseburgers, fried chicken, frosty desserts, and french fries into a D&D style adventure that revolves around the years-old Wendy's slogan, fresh, never frozen.
97 pages?
97 pages
Free?
of D&D.
Okay, I'm so printing that at work tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Nobody tell my boss. No,
Tell your boss
not
what?
tomorrow, Monday.
You better not play this episode for your boss. If you do, it's your own damn fault.
Liz, I'm telling you, she doesn't know about the episode. She does only think she knows.
She only thinks she knows?
She only thinks she knows. Because I might have gotten drunk and told her some stuff because she asked questions. But that was a while ago. She may have forgotten, except that every time we get together and hang out and get drunk, she kind of makes comments. So, I don't know.
Is she?
Well, then maybe you should go to the next tasting.
You're funny.
I'll invite her. You've got a convincing evil laugh, Panther.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, the blinky eyes, like, what? I'm innocent. I don't know what you're talking about.
I am just a large furred feline prowling through the jungles of life.
Yes.
The jungles of life.
You know, I remember meeting Panther the first time, and I fell in love with him because you have the best. Just look at you. You're so cute. Batting your eyes. I think you had fangs. This was like years ago at the Fresno Ball, black and white Fresno Ball. So if you don't know if you remember what year that was, but it was.
Don't remember the year.
Yeah, but man, you're so adorable, and I haven't seen you since. Like really, maybe in passing. Mm-hmm. But it's really good to see you and get to talk and hear your voice and hear you meow and remember why I thought you were so adorable then.
Wow.
We could have a contest. He can growl and snarl and whatnot,
Jesus.
and I can purr.
Hang on, I gotta get my dick out for this, because...
Ew! Greedy, put that away! Stop!
Hey,
Close your damn pants, Greedy.
Don't kink shame me.
I'm not kink shaming you. I don't want to see your fucking dick right now, man.
Don't look under the table. Quit looking under the table.
Ew!
pervert.
Boys,
You may want to go to the doctor for
Yes.
that.
I left my crop in the car, so just behave.
Greedy.
Yeah.
You may want to call the doctor. That doesn't look right.
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
boys, let's do final thoughts. Wait, we did word. Okay, final
did
thoughts.
word.
Yeah, we did
final
word.
thoughts.
The bird.
I think we need to wrap this up.
I think you're right.
All right, Greedy, final thoughts?
I've got a very impatient mistress in there right now. She's waiting for this podcast to end, so I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
That's your final thought.
That's his final thought, that he wants to go get beat by
I
his
want to go
mistress.
cuddle with my mistress.
Oh, cuddle. Gotcha.
Cuddle.
Cuddle.
All right.
Yeah,
Cuddle,
that's
fondle, potato.
air quotes, cuddle.
Right. Wait. There are 3 beds in your bedroom right now.
Yes.
And you better only be cuddling because I do not want to hear that crap all night long. Thank you
Everyone
very
loves
much.
a good cuddle.
All
Around the penis.
night long?
Or the vagina.
All night.
You are giving Greedy a lot of credit.
All night. Oh, you're so mean.
I am. I'm horrible. Hey, Panther, any final thoughts from you?
You know, I had a great time. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for inviting me down. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Look forward to seeing you all again.
Thank you. And we look forward to having you back on the podcast again next time you're in the valley.
Yeah, that would be great.
Panther, what you do is when you go back up there and you're talking to everybody, we'll let you know when this episode goes up and you'll be like, hey, listen to me on the internet. I'm famous now.
Right? Now you can brag about Gotham Press and being the guest.
I just like to take this opportunity to point out this is probably not what's going to be his, look, I'm famous.
Shut up, Greedy.
Well, you know.
Let us have this. Not a lot of final thoughts?
Thank you to our live audience for putting up with us, for taking you away from the party from the inside. You did not have to come out here, but we do appreciate all your comments and
Yes,
your
we do.
commentary and clapping and whatnot.
Yes.
Captain Awesome?
Final thoughts. Wait.
What?
She's not done. Quit cutting
Oh
people
my
off.
God. I thought that was
Shisha Mahaka.
Should got a Shisha Mahaka out of that one.
Yeah. Lala, please finish.
I don't even know. I'm so tired.
Come on, Shisha Mahaka.
Shisha Mahaka Lakalugi. That's my Indian name and my tribe name.
Wow.
Okay, final thoughts. I had a great time today, running around like, hi, Mistress Lala, but I'm done. And something's happening behind me.
Hey.
I had boobies.
You had 3 sets of boobies.
I had
jiggling
boobies behind me,
you.
and I couldn't see them.
3 sets.
3
There
sets
were
of them.
I had peripheral boobies. Peripheral visions of boobies dancing above my head. I'm going to sleep so good tonight. Thank you, ladies.
Captain Awesome, any final thoughts?
Man, I wish that would have happened to me. Shit. Okay.
Heckler,
What the-
would y'all come and...
What? No! Stop it. You stop this. Greedy.
Hey, Awesome.
I'm done.
I'm going to tell you how you get it.
How?
Put on a skimpy skirt, some of those grid fishnet thingies, a wig, a see-through top, some cleavage. They'll flock for you.
Yeah, I'm good on all of that.
I had groupies following me all day.
I mean, that's because you're sexy.
Where the beautiful
I'm
women
so kidding.
flock like
I did
the
not
son
have
of
groupies.
Capistrano.
I did not have groupies. Wait, I want to tell the funniest story that happened today.
Please do.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay. This was the best. This was epic. Okay, I was in the bathroom and I was changing into Hi Mr. Lala costume because I don't, that's my thing.
Yes.
Teal wig costume. This woman comes in from Fresno. I've never met her. She says, hi, my name is so-and-so. And I said, hi, I'm Hi Mr. Slala. I am a podcast co-host. And blah, blah, blah. Right? Memorable because we're in the bathroom. So I remembered her name, which I don't normally remember names.
Okay.
So later on, we're up in the wax area. And I had changed out of my Mr. Slala back into my own self. And she happened to bump into me. And playfully, I was like, ow, so-and-so just hit me. And I was pretending to cry.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, how does she know my name? Like, she did not. She literally had no idea who I was.
Wow.
And I loved it. That was so fun. That was my
Bravo.
story.
Well done, Hi Mr. Slala.
Yay.
Captain Awesome, now would you like to give your final thoughts?
Wait. No, just kidding.
My final thoughts is this has been a great fucking day. The tasting was amazing. Listeners, get to your local tasting. Or if you're, get to your local community. There we go. Community first. If there's not a tasting, talk to people about starting one up.
And if you're in the neighborhood for Bakersfield next year in October, come on down to ours.
We will be happy to have you.
Mm-hmm.
In all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Perfect.
Yes. You need to do a haunted house.
Oh, wow.
Would that be fun? You'd be so fun.
Wait, a kinky haunted house?
A kinky haunted house. Or at least make the recordings for a spooky house. That'd be great. Look it! Yes! That's turning me on.
Okay, listeners, with that, a lot's been happening. I think we're done.
Bye! Oh my goodness. You guys are crazy.
I need to go fill up my...
I love this man. Purr, meow, purr.
I do too.
Okay, listen.
Okay, instant boner.
Wait, who gave it to you first? Me or Panther?
Yes.
Or was it Lucy? For Mama. She's fuzzy. She likes to be in warm spots. Okay, she doesn't. Not your warm spot.
Yours?
She likes to be between my boobies. Cleavage. She's a cleavage llama.